young girl like you, they'll accuse me of impropriety and I'll have to become a wandering ascetic. You know what that means? What? Homeless, living in dumpsters, washing my armpits in gas station sinks, fighting rats for scraps. That's terrible. Okay, I'll go. Come see me afterwards, I remind her. She gets up and goes to help with the setup. I continue eating my meal in the drizzle as a fire pit is dug and ringed with stones and filled with logs and then surrounded by lawn chairs and makeshift benches. The seating is not evenly distributed. It's mostly on one side with only one seat, the most comfortable, all by itself facing the rest. I watch in amusement and amazement, and the Grateful Dead line runs through my mind as it often does. What a long, strange trip it's been. How did I end up here? How did such a simple thing as a yearning for truth evolve into this? And, more interestingly, where is this evolution going? Here? To this? To this house? To these people? I watch them as they prepare the fire for our evening together. Is this it? Is this what it was all for? Is this teaching thing I do what it's all been moving toward? The answer, I know, is no. Close, but not quite there yet. The picture is not yet complete. Even now, the larger pattern of my life is only beginning to reveal itself. To explain this, I have to say something about the way my mind works, the way I view and move through life. Simply put, I don't think. I don't make choices or decisions. I don't weigh possibilities and select one over others. Instead, I observe patterns and move with them. I have a refined sense of rightness and not rightness that guides me in all things. No decision in my life is made through ratiocination. I wait for unfolding. I sense currents, and I flow with them. You don't have to be enlightened to operate this way. You just have to release the tiller. Once you do, an entirely new way of flowing through life opens to you, a way that is based on rightness and sensitive to not rightness. So, when I look at my own life, my own story, I look for the patterns, the unifying theme, the sum of the parts that explain my existence. It's not this. I know that much. It's not this house. It's not these people. This is all just another tile in the mosaic. The self-immolation of what I've since termed spiritual autolysis was a critical element, but not the defining one. The point of my existence is not enlightenment. Enlightenment, too, is just another piece. Who I am now, what I have become, is not the end result, just another piece of a larger picture. But what larger picture? What does it all add up to? What will the puzzle look like when complete? I sit on my now soggy by eating my now soggy dinner, and I wonder what single outcome ties together all the seemingly unrelated twists and turns in my peculiar life. The answer to that question is only now coming into focus. The book. This book. It all makes sense in light of this book. This book is the big picture, the full expression of me, of my existence. The book is what it's all been about since day one and before. Hundreds of seemingly unrelated bits of my life that make little or no sense in any other context resolve into focus. The book is the thing. These people, my students, are all on their own journeys, but they are also playing a critical role in my creative journey. And this book is and has always been the true destination of that journey. Everything points to this. All indications confirm it. The pattern is clear. It's all been about this book. idly, soggily, I wonder what comes after. Eventually, everything is ready, and the fire is roaring, and everyone is standing around waiting. I can see that a lot of anticipation has built up, a lot of energy. Everyone has worked themselves up into a expectant euphoria that I'm happy to plug into and take for a ride. I shuffle down from the knoll to my seat, but remain standing. They applaud my approach, and I applaud them right back. I begin by smiling my ass off. I can't help it. The whole thing just bubbles up inside me at times. What a trip, I hear myself saying, and the energy increases faster than I can release it. What an utterly insane and magical ride we're on. Is this not the damnedest thing? Is it not? Everyone is nodding, responding to the energy, feeling it. I feel them, and they feel me, and we all feel this thing that we're sharing and creating together. Check it out, I say. I'm the enlightened guy, and you're all the guys who want to be enlightened guys too. So we're all here in this beautiful place with the lovely rain and the beautiful fire. And what could possibly be better? What could be more cool? Am I really the teacher? I look at you guys, each one of you, and I see people I'd like to have for my own teachers. I see heart centering, and I'm in complete awe and admiration. I see courage and intelligence, and I wish I possessed it in similar measure. I see sincerity and strength and pulsing life force. I think of Sanaya inside, and my heart nearly bursts with gratitude. I make eye contact with each of them in turn, staying with each for a moment, acknowledging each, sharing. This is it. Not some other time, not some other place. Right here, right now. I am standing at the exact center of infinity, and I see perfection and beauty and absolute delight everywhere and in everything. The touch of the slightest breeze, the sight of a single star through cloud-swept skies, the howls of coyote pups in the distance, and the sheer glory and beauty of it all is enough to tear me to shreds. And all I can say is thank you, thank you, thank you. There is clapping and hooting and tears and hugging and hand-holding in the group. Not because of the words, but because that thing that was bubbling up has bubbled over and soaked us all. It's a surging wave of energy, and if the chairman of the PLO and the Prime Minister of Israel were sitting here right now, they'd be in each other's arms, weeping. And that's a fact, because this is the real deal, mystical shit, and no one is immune. In other words, I yell, I'm in a great fucking mood. This brings a renewed round of catcalls and applause and hooting. Everyone's up and making contact now, making noise. I pull a piece of folded paper out of my pocket and read it aloud. This is a poem by Rumi I've been carrying around. I clear my throat and begin. I said, "Oh no, help me." And that oh no became a rope let down in my well. I've climbed out to stand here in the sun. One moment I was at the bottom of a dank, fearful narrowness, and the next I am not contained by the universe. If every tip of every hair on me could speak, I still couldn't say my gratitude. In the middle of these streets and gardens I stand and say again, it's all I say. I wish everyone could know what I know. I look at the faces, and they're all open, all joyous, all radiant. I pass the poem around. We let the moment ride. I take my seat and watch the fire, and smile at these wonderful people. When you start bursting with that whole mystical love gratitude thing, I tell them, Rumi's your guy. Chapter 21. Pasupatastra. I am he. I am the sage. I am the superior man. I am the crown of creation. I am daft, clouded, obscure. I eat when hungry, sleep when tired. I move with, not across, not against. I rub my chin at the appointed hour. I see only patterns. I have no eye for detail. I don't go. Why go? Go where? It comes. I don't try. I don't do. Nothing goes undone. I don't take sides. I have no preferred outcome. It's all me. It's all mine. Otherless, what's to want? I have amazing powers. I get good tables in restaurants. I haven't stubbed a toe in 12 years. I can destroy the universe with a thought. Jed McKenna. Chapter 22. Truth Talk in the Dream State. In the knowledge of the Atman, which is the dark night to the ignorant, the recollected mind is fully awake and aware. The ignorant are awake in their sense life, which is darkness to the sage. Bhagavad Gita. It's probably 20 minutes before everyone settles down. When they do, the talk gradually turns to matters that various members of the group have obviously been discussing amongst themselves. I am content to sit back, listen, and get a feel for the different personalities and how they interact with each other. Occasionally I am called upon to hand down a ruling, but I keep it brief and generally bounce it back in the form of a question. It's all very light and easy. At one point, one of them, a pretty sincere guy named Brendan, asks me what the meaning of life is, but he tosses out the question in a casual way, suggesting that he considers it unanswerable. So I let it go. "Jed," says one of the guys, Randy, "when you say that there is nothing to know in order to be enlightened..." "Yes?" "I just can't reconcile that with any of the world's great teachings and religions. I mean, what about yoga and Vedanta and Buddhism? What about Greek and German philosophers? What about Christianity and Islam and Judaism? How can there be nothing to know?" Obviously, this is something he's really struggling with. "It's incomprehensible. It's just too much. I can't get a handle on it." There's a murmur of agreement. The question seems to resonate with all of them. "I know what you mean," I reply. "The only thing to get a handle on is negation, the tearing down process. I know you want to learn something, to embrace something, to understand. Humans are comprised of emotion and intellect, so it's only natural to want to follow one or both of these aspects of ourselves inward to the truth. But you can't. You could spend 1,000 years with your nose in books or at the feet of masters and still be no closer to waking up from delusion. The fact is that no amount or combination of knowledge can bring about truth realization." Everyone is attentive now. This is something that has concerned them all. They are all seated and standing. A few are kneeling or seated in the wet grass, but they are all focused on the words like campers listening to a ghost story. Nor is it something you grow into or develop. It's not an emotion or a state of consciousness. This can be a little trickier to understand until you realize that emotion